Hi everyone and welcome to a new video in the grade 1 series. Today we're looking at bars, bar lines and time signatures. So we're starting to get a bit more like the music you'll be seeing and you'll be playing. Okay, so beats are organised into bars with a bar line at the end of each one. So this is a bar line here. Essentially a line going down. For grade 1, bars can hold 2, 3 or 4 crotchet beats. And the first beat of the bar is always a little stronger than the others. And this adds a bit of character, a bit of push to the music. For example, if I was to clap that first example, this example here, it would go. So a slight emphasis on the first beat of every bar. At the end of the piece, you'll always see a double bar line, which is 2 lines instead of 1. The next one we have 3 crotchet bars. So there's 3 crotchets before we draw a bar line. And then underneath that we have 4 crotchets before we draw a bar line. At the beginning of the piece of music, we have a time signature. Okay, a time signature tells us how many beats are in a bar before we draw that bar line. Now, it's really important to note, for these examples, there is a line going through. Now, this is because we only have a rhythm to concern and we don't have pitch. However, when drawing a time signature, it is not a fraction. So this is incorrect. Okay, it is simply a number on top of another number. It tells us the top number tells us how many beats in a bar. So for this example, there are 2 beats in a bar. And the bottom number tells us the type. So 4 means crotchets. So in these bars, there are 2 crotchet beats in every single bar. Okay. We'll learn about other ones as we go further into the series and of course when we go above grade 1. But for now, all you need to concern yourself with is 4 is crotchet beats. Okay? Sometimes you will see that written as this. Looks like a C, doesn't it? With a little bit more on the top. Looks like a C. That means common time. And that's because things with a crotchet beat as its value is generally the most common occurrence. So we call it common time. If you see a C instead of this, it means the exact same thing. So C means 4-4. It doesn't mean 2-4 or 3-4. C means 4-4. Okay, so now we have quite a few different exercises you need to look at this time. I think there's 7 involved, and we'll talk through them first before you have a go. So the first one asks you to write the correct time signatures for the amount of beats that you can see. The second one asks you to draw a treble clef and fill each bar with crotchets. You do not need to draw a treble clef in every single bar. Okay, just at the start, please. So the first one's got the example as it should be. Write a bass clef and fill each bar with crotchets. Write a bass clef and fill each bar with crotchets. Number 5 asks us to count up the number of crotchet beats in each first bar, and the second bar write a note that equals that value on the note E. So for example, 1, half, half, 1. Well, that totals, a crotchet rest. That totals 4. So they've drawn a semibreve on the E note. And that would be correct. So you need to make sure you add up what is in the bar that you see and draw an equivalent note for the length and do that on the note E. 6 asks us to write the correct time signature. So you need to count how many crotchet beats are there in that bar and put the number on top of 4 at the start, just after the treble clef. And number 7 asks us to look at the music and add bar lines to agree with the time signatures. For, in the example, it has a 3-4 time signature. So it counts 3, so 1, 1, half, half, well that equals 3. And then they've drawn a bar line. 1, 1, 1, that equals 3. Another bar line. 1, 1, half, half, another bar line. And then this is a 3-beat note and a double bar line for the end of the piece. So you need to do that for all the examples here. Pause the video here, don't rush through this, take your time, make sure you're getting the correct answers, and then we'll go through it together. Okay, so you should have done all the examples. Now I hope you've got on okay. We're going to have a go together now. So we need to write the correct time signatures. So before this bar line, there's 1, 2 beats, so it's going to be 2-4. Bottom left, there are 4 crotchet beats before we see the bar line. So that's going to be 4 crotchet beats. And there's 3 crotchet beats in this example. Exercise 2. Write a treble clef and fill each bar with crochet F's and C's. So the treble clef's already there, and then we'll be doing a crochet F and a crochet C, and the same in the last bar. 3, write a base clef and fill each bar with crochet B's and G's. So a base clef is also known as the F clef, so I start it off on an F with my 2 dots. It's in 3/4, so we need to make sure we draw the correct amount. So crochet B's and crochet G's. So let's do crochet G, and a crochet B, and then we might do crochet B, crochet G, crochet G, and then we might do crochet B, crochet B, crochet B. The next one, write a base clef and fill each bar with crochets 2 different C's. So let's draw a base clef. It's in 4/4, and it asks us to fill each bar with crochets on 2 different C's. So of course we have all cows, so here's 1 C, and we'll do 2 of them. And then we have our middle C, hamburger C, on the top here, so we'll do 2 of them. Make sure we draw our ledger line, and you can have any variation on that as long as you've got them both in each bar. Number 5, count up the number of crochet beats in the first bar and add the second bar to be the same. So this example here, we have 1, add a half, well that totals 2, so it must be a minim on an E. This one we have 2, add 1, well that's 3, so it must be a dotted minim on an E. The next one, 1, 1, and a 2 beat rest, so that's got to be a semi-breve on an E. 1, 1, 1, half, half, well that's got to be a semi-breve on an E. Oh, must excuse me there, let me undo that. Now it's a semi-breve again. And 1, 1, well that must be a minim, the one I drew earlier, on an E. I'll move that a bit higher so you can see. Number 6, write the correct time signature. So we'll start on this one here. So there are 1, half, half, 2 beats in this bar, so it's going to be 2, 4, 1, 1, and 2, so there's 4 beats in this bar. 1, 1, 1, 3 beats in this bar. 1, half, half, 1, half, half, so that's going to be 4, 4, and then a 2, so this must be 2, 4. Number 7, now it's our turn to add the bar lines in. So we start on this example here. It's 2, 4, so every time we count 2 crochet beats we have to draw a bar line. So 1, 2, bar line. This is a 2 beat minim, bar line. 1, 2, bar line, half, half, 1, bar line, and we're left with 2. 4, 4, so 1, half, half, 1, half, half, that's 4. 1, 1, 1, 2 is 4. 1, 1, 1, half, half is 4, and we're left with a semi-breve. 2, 4 now. 1, 2, 1, 2, half, half, 1 equals 2, and we're left with a 2 beat note. 3, 4, half, half, 1, 1 equals 3, half, half, 1, 1 equals 3, half, half, 1, 1 equals 3, and we're left with a dotted minim. 2, 4, 1, half, half, 1, 1, 1, half, half, 1, 1. Perfect. 3, 4, 1, 1, 1, bar line, 1, 1, 1, bar line, half, half, 1, 1, bar line, 1, 1, 1. And lastly, C. Remember, C stands for common time, which is equal to 4, 4. So we're counting 4 crochet beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, a 4 beat on the 4th line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. I hope you got all them correct answers. Let me know how you got on, and I'll see you in the next video.